The sky above the alien world of Zellora burned with strange colors. Swirling clouds glowed in green and violet, and the twin suns cast shadows across the cracked, dry land. The air was heavy, filled with dust and the faint scent of ozone. Among the ruins of what had once been a thriving city, a small alien child ran, stumbling over broken stones and fallen beams. Their skin shimmered faintly under the sun, a soft silver that made them look fragile in this harsh landscape. The child's name was Leora, and she was alone. She had lost everything: her family, her home, her friends. The attack had come swiftly, like a storm that no one could escape. Giant machines, strange and terrifying, had rolled over the city, flattening buildings and sending creatures fleeing in panic. Leora's mother had grabbed her hand and tried to run, but in the chaos, they were separated. She had called out, but her voice had been swallowed by the roar of destruction. Now, Leora ran through the empty streets, her heart pounding, hoping, praying that her mother had survived. She stopped for a moment, hiding behind a crumbled wall. The machines were gone, at least for now, leaving silence in their wake. Leora could hear only her own breathing and the faint hum of energy from the ruined city. She pressed her small hands to her ears, trying to block out the fear, but it would not leave her. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound seemed like a threat. Suddenly, a noise broke the silence. A soft, steady rhythm, footsteps. Not the clumsy, heavy sounds of the machines, but deliberate, careful steps. Leora's heart leaped. She peered around the wall and saw a figure moving toward her. Unlike the tall, strange shapes of the Zelloran soldiers, this figure was different. Human. He wore a uniform of dark metal and cloth, covered with small devices that hummed quietly. His face was calm but alert, his eyes scanning the surroundings. There was something in the way he moved that told Leora he was not afraid. That something made her feel a spark of hope. "Hello," she whispered, her voice trembling. The human paused and looked toward her. "Are you alone?" he asked in a gentle voice, strange but understandable. Leora nodded. My mother, I lost her. Please help me." Her words were small but filled with desperate hope. The human knelt down to her level, keeping his eyes kind. "I'll help you," he said. "We'll find her together, but first we need to move quickly. It's not safe here." Trust did not come easily to Leora. In her world, strangers often brought danger, not safety. But something about this human felt different. His calm courage, the way he moved with care, and the softness in his voice made her feel that maybe, just maybe, he could help. She took a small step forward. Together, they moved through the ruined city. The human carried supplies, small devices that glowed and hummed, helping them detect danger and navigate the broken streets. Leora tried to memorize every detail: the shapes of the ruins, the smell of the air, the strange patterns left by the machines. She knew this city had once been home, but now it felt like a place of ghosts. As they walked, the human soldier spoke. "I am called Marcus," he said. "I am here to help anyone who needs it. Your planet, it has suffered greatly. But we will try to make it safe again, at least for you." Leora listened carefully. She had never met a human before. They were spoken of in stories, travelers who sometimes came to distant worlds, bringing knowledge and hope. Yet seeing him act with courage and kindness, made her feel something she had not felt in days: hope. Hours passed and the sun began to set. Shadows stretched across the broken city, making the ruins look even more frightening. Leora shivered and Marcus noticed. He took off his cloak and draped it over her small shoulders. "It's going to be okay," he said. "We'll find your mother. Rest for a little while." They found a small shelter among the ruins, a collapsed building that had created a small cave-like space. Marcus checked carefully for any dangers before allowing Leora to sit. She curled up on the floor, trying to stay warm. I don't know if she's alive," Leora whispered, tears forming in her eyes. "I can't find her." Maybe she, her voice broke and she could not finish the thought. Marcus placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "I know it feels hopeless right now," he said softly. "But we don't give up. Not ever. We keep looking, we keep trying. That's what humans do. And I think it's something you can do too." Leora looked at him, unsure. Humans were brave, yes, but could they really make a difference in a world as dangerous as hers? Marcus gave her a small, encouraging smile, and something in her chest lifted. Maybe, just maybe, she could believe in hope again. The night passed slowly. Strange creatures moved outside the ruins, their eyes glowing in the dark. Leora woke several times, listening to every sound, afraid the danger was coming back. Marcus stayed awake, keeping watch, using small lights and devices to detect any movement. He never slept deeply, always alert, always ready. By morning, the first light of the twin suns crept over the horizon. Leora felt tired but ready. Marcus extended his hand. "Time to move," he said. "We have a long journey ahead." As they walked, they encountered more survivors, small groups of aliens hiding in ruins, weak and afraid. Marcus helped them, sharing supplies, guiding them to safety. Leora watched him carefully. The human did not treat these survivors as weak or unimportant. He treated them with respect, with kindness. She had never seen this before. Her world had taught her that survival often meant ignoring others, but Marcus showed her that helping others could be part of surviving. At midday, they reached the edge of the city. From a high point, Leora could see the wider landscape, valleys scorched by fire, rivers of strange colors, and distant mountains that rose like giants into the sky. In the distance, the ruins of other cities glimmered faintly in the sun. The scale of the destruction was overwhelming. Leora's heart sank. How could they ever hope to find her mother here? Marcus noticed her fear. "We take it one step at a time," he said. "We cannot save everyone at once, but we can save you and we can try to find your mother. That is what matters now." They moved carefully through the wilderness, avoiding patrols of alien machines and dangerous wildlife. Leora learned from Marcus how to hide, how to stay quiet, how to watch for danger without panicking. She began to feel stronger, more confident. Marcus encouraged her, telling her stories of humans who faced impossible odds and succeeded. Slowly, she began to believe that she could survive too. Days passed, and Leora and Marcus grew closer. She began to see the human not just as a soldier, but as a friend, a protector, and a guide. She told him about her mother, about her home, about the life she had lost. Marcus listened patiently, never interrupting, never judging. One evening, as the twin suns set again, casting long shadows over the land, Marcus stopped by a small stream. He knelt down, filling a small container with water. "We are close," he said. "I can feel it. Your mother is not far. We must keep moving, but we are getting closer." Leora's eyes filled with tears of hope. She had dreamed of this moment, imagining the warmth of her mother's embrace, the sound of her voice. Could it really happen? Could she really be reunited? Suddenly, a distant sound reached their ears, a soft cry, a voice calling out in the distance. Leora froze, straining to listen. "Mother," she whispered. Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her back. "Stay calm," he said. "We will find her. Whatever happens, we will not give up." Leora nodded, gripping his hand tightly. For the first time in many days, she felt a spark of true hope. The journey was far from over, but with the human soldier by her side, she knew she had a chance. And that chance, however small, was enough to keep going. As night fell, the two of them moved quietly through the shadows, guided by the stars above and the faint hope in their hearts. Somewhere out there, Leora's mother waited. And thanks to the courage, wisdom, and compassion of a human soldier, the child believed she might see her again. The alien world of Zellora stretched endlessly before Leora and Marcus. Broken mountains, scorched plains, and twisted rivers painted a scene of quiet devastation. Yet for Leora, the landscape no longer seemed entirely frightening. She walked beside Marcus, learning to trust him and the strength humans carried, not in their bodies alone but in their courage and wisdom. Each day was a lesson. Marcus taught her how to move silently through rubble-strewn streets, how to hide when danger approached, and how to read the signs of the land. Leora watched him closely. She had always believed that humans were fragile, small creatures from distant stars. But Marcus's every action showed strength, patience, and cleverness. On the third day of their journey, the pair came to a deep valley where a river of thick, green water cut through the land. Strange, spiky plants grew along the banks, their leaves shimmering in the sun. Leora hesitated at the edge. "It looks dangerous," she said. Marcus smiled gently. "Everything can be dangerous if you don't pay attention, but if we move carefully, we will cross safely." He found a series of flat stones that protruded from the river like stepping stones. Testing each one carefully, he crossed first, showing Leora exactly where to step. When she followed, she felt her confidence grow. For the first time in days, she believed she could survive on this planet, not just escape it. As they crossed the river, Marcus began to talk. "When humans face danger, we try to help each other. Even when the odds are against us, we do what we can to protect others." Leora listened, fascinated. "Your people, you risk your lives for others," Marcus nodded. "Yes, even if it's hard, even if it's scary. Sometimes that is the only way to survive, and sometimes it is the only way to make the world better." Leora thought of her mother, alone and frightened somewhere in the ruins. She wished she had this courage before, wished she could have helped her mother. Now with Marcus she felt hope. Perhaps she could be brave too. The valley narrowed, leading them into a dense forest. The trees were tall and twisted, their branches reaching out like long arms. Strange creatures moved through the underbrush, their glowing eyes watching the travelers silently. Leora felt her pulse quicken. "Stay close," Marcus whispered. "We move slowly and quietly. They will not notice us if we do this right." For hours they crept through the forest. Leora's small body ached from climbing over roots and crawling under fallen branches, but she kept going. Marcus encouraged her, showing patience and calm. With each obstacle, Leora learned a little more, not just about survival, but about courage and trust. At the heart of the forest, they discovered a hidden settlement of alien survivors. Families huddled in small shelters, weak and frightened, but alive. Leora's heart ached at the sight. She had thought she was alone, but here were others who had survived just like her. Marcus spoke to them gently. "We are all survivors," he said. "We can help each other. Safety is possible if we work together." The aliens looked skeptical. Their world had taught them that outsiders could not be trusted, but Marcus did not give up. He offered food, shared water, and helped repair broken shelters. Slowly, their fear gave way to gratitude. Leora watched, amazed. Humans, she realized, had a power that went beyond strength. They could inspire trust and hope in ways her people had never learned. That night, under a sky lit by twin moons, Marcus and Leora sat beside a small fire. The air was cool and the forest was quiet except for the occasional rustle of leaves. "Do you think we will find my mother?" Leora asked, her voice small. Marcus looked at her carefully. "I believe we will," he said. "It may not be easy and it may take time, but I do not give up and neither should you." Leora nodded. The words felt like a shield, protecting her from the fear that had haunted her for days. For the first time, she felt a sense of control, a sense that she could face the unknown and survive. The next morning, they left the forest and entered a wide plain. The air shimmered with heat, and the ground was cracked and dry. Strange creatures moved across the horizon, grazing or hunting in silence. Marcus scanned the area carefully, using small devices to detect movement. Leora followed, learning to observe, to anticipate, to think ahead. Suddenly, a distant cry reached them, a sound that made Leora's heart leap. She froze, straining to listen. "Stay calm," Marcus whispered. "We do not know if it is danger or hope, but we will find out." They moved toward the sound carefully, hiding behind rocks and dunes. As they approached, they saw a group of alien captives, guarded by machines. Among them, Leora's heart caught. One of the captives moved strangely, limping, and she thought she saw silver skin like her own. "Could it be?" she whispered. Marcus placed a hand gently on her back. "We will see, but we must be careful." The human soldier acted with precision. He scanned the machine's movements, finding weak points. Then, using a small device, he disabled one guard silently. Leora watched, amazed at his cleverness and calm courage. Together they freed the captives, moving swiftly and quietly through the plain. When the captives realized they were free, they followed Marcus and Leora without question. Among them was a small alien woman, trembling and weak, her face familiar. Leora's breath caught in her throat. Could it really be? "Mother," she cried, running forward. The woman looked up, her eyes wide, then filled with tears. "Leora," she cried, embracing her daughter tightly. The reunion was filled with emotion. Leora's mother held her, whispered her name, and cried. Leora clung to her, feeling the warmth and safety she had longed for. Marcus watched quietly, a small smile on his face, knowing that the journey had not been easy, but it had led to this moment. The group rested for a moment, catching their breath. Leora's mother thanked Marcus repeatedly, her voice shaking. "I cannot believe you saved my child. How, why?" Marcus shook his head gently. "Humans do not always understand why we help. We just know that we try because it is right." Leora's mother looked at him, tears in her eyes. "Your people, your courage, it is beyond anything we have known." The rescued aliens began to move with them, guided by Marcus and Leora. They traveled through harsh landscapes, relying on human ingenuity and resourcefulness to survive. Marcus taught them how to use simple devices, how to avoid danger, and how to stay calm in crises. Slowly, they began to see the humans not as strange outsiders, but as allies, teachers, and friends. One evening, as they camped under the stars, Leora looked at Marcus. "I do not think my people could have survived this journey without you." Marcus smiled gently. "Perhaps not. But now you see what humans can do, not just with strength, but with courage, patience, and care. You have seen it, and you can carry it with you." Leora nodded. She thought of the long journey ahead, the dangers yet to come, and the new hope in her heart. She realized that humans were not just visitors from another world. They were a reminder that even in the darkest places, courage and compassion could shine. Days passed, and they moved closer to the ruins where Leora's family had last been seen. They faced many dangers: collapsing bridges, treacherous terrain, and creatures that hunted silently. But with Marcus guiding them, Leora and the rescued aliens persevered. Each challenge taught them new skills and strengthened their bond. Finally, as the twin suns rose high in the sky, they reached the outskirts of a ruined city. Smoke rose from distant fires, and the air was thick with dust. Leora's mother held her hand tightly. "This is where we were separated," she whispered. Leora's heart pounded. She looked at Marcus. "Do you think we can find the rest?" Marcus nodded firmly. "We will, whatever it takes." The group moved carefully through the ruins, searching for survivors. Every corner held danger, but also hope. Leora felt a new strength within her, a courage that had grown from following Marcus, learning from him and believing in him. Hours later, as the sun began to set, they found more survivors, families who had been hiding, weak but alive. Leora realized that their journey was not just about her mother. It was about saving as many as they could, showing that courage and care could change the fate of many lives. As night fell, Leora looked at Marcus. "I understand now," she said softly. "Humans, they are different. Brave, yes. Clever, yes, but also kind, even when it is hard." Marcus smiled. "You are learning what humans have always known. Courage is not just about fighting. It is about hope, compassion, and never giving up." Leora hugged her mother tightly, feeling the warmth and safety she had longed for. Around them, the rescued aliens rested, their hearts filled with gratitude. And Leora knew, deep inside, that this journey had changed her forever. She had seen what humans could do, and in their courage and care, she had found hope for her world. The ruined city of Zellora stretched before them like a memory of a past world. Smoke rose from broken towers, and the ground was littered with debris. The twin suns reflected off shattered glass and twisted metal, painting the streets in shades of orange and gold. For Leora, the sight was both terrifying and familiar. This was the place where she had lost her mother, where chaos had torn her world apart. But now she was not alone. By her side walked Marcus, the human soldier who had shown her courage and hope. Beside them, the rescued alien survivors moved carefully through the ruins, following Marcus's guidance. And at Leora's side was her mother, holding her hand tightly, their bond unbroken despite the separation. Leora's heart pounded as they approached the center of the city. Every step was filled with tension. The remains of alien machines, twisted and broken, lay scattered, but she knew dangers could still be near. Marcus stopped at the edge of a collapsed street and knelt down. "Listen carefully," he whispered. "There may be more survivors ahead. We need to move quietly and be ready for anything." Leora nodded, gripping her mother's hand. She felt the strength that had grown within her over the past days, the courage Marcus had inspired, the hope she had learned to carry. She was no longer the frightened child running alone through ruins. She was part of a team, and together they had a chance to face whatever came next. As they moved forward, the sound of faint voices reached their ears. Marcus held up his hand, signaling the group to stop. Leora's mother strained to listen, then whispered, "I hear someone calling." The voices grew clearer as they approached a collapsed building. Through the broken walls, they saw a small group of aliens trapped beneath rubble. Their eyes were wide with fear, their bodies weak from exhaustion. Leora's heart leapt. She recognized some faces, friends and neighbors she had thought lost forever. Marcus quickly assessed the situation. Using small tools and devices, he began to lift debris carefully, creating a path for the trapped aliens to escape. Leora watched, amazed at his precision and patience. Every movement was careful, deliberate, ensuring no one was harmed. "Help me here," Marcus called to Leora. She hesitated, then nodded. Following his instructions, she moved debris, supporting the trapped aliens as they were freed. One by one, they emerged from the rubble, trembling but alive. Leora's chest swelled with pride. She had faced fear, followed a human's guidance, and helped save lives. Finally, a small figure emerged from the shadows, a familiar silver-skinned alien with trembling hands. Leora's heart caught in her throat. "Mother!" she cried, running forward. Her mother's eyes widened and tears streamed down her face. "Leora, my child!" She scooped her daughter into her arms, holding her tightly. The reunion was filled with sobs and laughter, a moment of pure relief and joy. Marcus stepped back, giving them space, but his eyes glimmered with satisfaction. He had made this possible, not through force alone, but through courage, strategy, and care. The rescued aliens gathered around, expressions of gratitude on their faces. Leora's mother turned to Marcus. "I cannot thank you enough," she said. "You risked everything to bring my child back to me. Your people, your courage, it is beyond anything we have known." Marcus shook his head gently. "I do not know about beyond," he said. "We humans try to do what is right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not, but we do not give up." Leora's mother looked at him, tears in her eyes. "Your actions, they have changed our world." Marcus smiled. "Perhaps, but the real change comes from hope. You all survived because you did not give up. You had courage, just as I had to have mine. Together we found strength." The group rested for a moment, catching their breath and sharing food. Leora sat beside her mother, feeling the warmth and safety she had longed for. She looked at Marcus, understanding the truth of what he had taught her. Courage was not only about fighting enemies. It was about hope, compassion, and never giving up, even when the odds seemed impossible. As night fell, the twin moons rose over the city, casting soft light over the ruins. The rescued aliens began to talk quietly, sharing their stories of survival and loss. Leora listened, feeling a deep connection to each one. She realized that their journey had not only been about finding her mother, but about helping many others survive and believe in hope again. The next morning, Marcus led the group to the edge of the city. From a high ridge they could see the wider world, the scorched plains, the distant mountains, and the remnants of other ruined cities. Leora felt a mixture of awe and sadness. So much had been lost, but she also felt hope. They were alive together and their hearts were stronger than ever. Marcus knelt down beside her. "Leora," he said, "you have grown so much in a short time. You have courage, patience, and strength. You have learned what humans have known for ages, that even in the darkest places, hope and compassion can shine." Leora nodded. She felt a new determination within her. She wanted to help rebuild her world, to share what she had learned, and to ensure that her people remembered the lesson humans had taught her, that courage and care can change everything. Days turned into weeks as they helped survivors rebuild small shelters and organize safe paths through the city. Marcus taught them how to use simple devices for water, energy, and communication. Leora and her mother worked alongside the other aliens, repairing what they could, caring for the wounded, and sharing stories of hope. One afternoon, as they rested beside a small spring, Leora looked at Marcus. "I understand now," she said softly. "Humans, you are brave, yes. Clever, yes, but also kind, even when it is hard." Marcus smiled. "Yes, courage is not only about facing danger, it is about helping others, giving hope, and never giving up." Leora felt a deep gratitude toward him. Not only had he saved her life, but he had shown her a new way to face the world. She hugged her mother tightly, feeling the warmth and safety she had longed for. Around them, the rescued aliens worked together, their hearts filled with gratitude and hope. As twilight fell, Leora watched the sky. The twin moons reflected off the distant mountains and the stars began to appear. She thought about her journey, the fear, the danger, the despair, and how Marcus had guided her through it all. She realized that humans, with their courage, patience, and compassion, could inspire hope even in worlds that seemed lost. The next morning, the group prepared to leave the ruins for a safer region of Zellora. Leora walked beside her mother, holding her hand. Marcus led the way, his calm presence reassuring everyone. The journey would not be easy, but they were stronger together. Along the way, Leora noticed the small changes in her people. Survivors who had been afraid and withdrawn now helped each other, sharing food, watching for dangers, and caring for the weak. Marcus's example and the hope he inspired had transformed them. At a quiet moment, Leora asked Marcus, "Will you stay with us?" He shook his head gently. "My mission is elsewhere, but I will always be with you in spirit. Remember what you have learned: courage, compassion, and hope. Those are the greatest strengths you can have." Leora smiled, understanding fully. She had seen the power of humans, not their weapons or machines, but their courage, kindness, and determination. She felt a new purpose. Her world had been broken, but now, with hope and courage, it could be rebuilt. As they reached a safe settlement, Leora's mother embraced Marcus one last time. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." Marcus nodded. "Keep your hope alive, protect each other. That is the greatest gift you can give." The human soldier then turned and began his journey back to the stars, leaving Zellora forever changed. Leora watched him disappear on the horizon, feeling gratitude, admiration, and hope. She turned to her mother and the other survivors. "We will rebuild," she said firmly. "We will make our world strong and safe again. And we will remember the lesson humans taught us, that courage, care, and hope can overcome even the darkest times." The aliens smiled, and tears of joy and relief glistened in their eyes. Even the youngest children looked inspired. They had been saved, not only by human courage but by human wisdom and compassion. The world was broken, yes, but the future was not lost. That night, under the twin moons, Leora stood with her mother beside the new settlement. She looked at the stars, thinking of the human who had risked everything for them. Her heart was full. She knew that no matter what dangers might come, the courage and hope humans had shown could guide them. Somewhere in the vast galaxy, Marcus was looking at another world, another mission. But on Zellora, his legacy lived on. In the hearts of the rescued aliens, in the courage of Leora and her mother, and in the hope that one day their world would rise again. And in that quiet, peaceful moment, tears flowed freely, not of sorrow, but of relief, joy, and gratitude. Alien tears, touched by human kindness, told a story of hope that would be remembered for generations. Leora smiled, holding her mother's hand tightly. Together they looked at the stars and the twin moons above. The journey had been long and hard, but in the end, hope had triumphed, and the courage of one human soldier had changed everything.